What's going on, guys, and welcome to my channel. CLFurlong here, and we are all about running, lifestyle, and everything in between. And today we are going through the what sold for January 2021. And I'm excited to share this. I want to be very clear and very, I guess, open straight away and just say that there's been a lot of lessons learned this month, meaning January, and I'm going to share with you, everything that's very exciting, of course, and the things where I know I need to do better, things where it's probably not the best for everyone, and things also which you guys, if you're a reseller, probably thinking, why is he doing this? Or maybe you'll find some other things that are, of relevance that might help you as well. But look, I'm learning at this. I want to be very honest about that, and I will be going through some of the lessons learned, and I would appreciate the feedback and the love as well, because at the end of the day, I'm doing this to share my journey and to show my growth and, what it is that I'm trying to achieve. But at the same time, there's so many people out there which are doing this way better as well. So, if you do have something that you'd love to, give me some feedback on, I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, so if you're new here, what I like to do is share once a month on what's sold on my eBay reselling business, and which was originally a hobby back in the day, and now I'm kind of jumping all in, and that's why I'm super excited to share this episode, because it's kind of been the first month where I've been able to put a lot more time and effort into it, and the numbers will show it, but also there's plenty of room for improvement. So we're going to go through all this, and let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to see on screen right now is essentially what January looks like. And if you're having a look on screen, and I'm going to go through it as well, is we've had a total items sold of 32. So 32 items, which is huge, which is bigger than I've ever done before. Total cost of items. Now, when we're talking about cost of items, this is me going out to the op shop and what the item has cost. So if I bundle them all up together, the 32 items, we're coming up to about $207. So averaging around $6.50 per item, which is probably a lot higher than I've been sourcing in the recent weeks anyway. Total revenue is a whooping $1,366. And this is all of January, so averaging basically per sale around $42, which is nice. Now, this is where things get very interesting, and actually looking at this data now, I'm thinking, what? This is ridiculous. Total fees or postage costs included as well. So basically, just to be very clear with everyone, is how I'm doing this is I'm selling the item with free postage, but also trying to bake in the postage price as well. However, there's been a lot of postage prices I didn't really realize they were going to be. And as well, this includes fees such as eBay fees, as well as PayPal fees as well. So, the fees here are quite huge. We're looking at $477, which, quite frankly, it's way too high. So we're averaging around, if we're thinking per item, the fee is around $5, or if we're adding in postage, we're averaging around $15 of cost per item, which is just killing me. It really is killing me so bad. So anyway, that we'll get to that later, but total profits for this month is $681, which we'll do a bit of a comparison to December later, but I mean, that's a huge win. It's great, first month in, and I'm excited to be able to share that. That's a positive. And look, some of you people are probably making this per week. And some of you are probably not even getting any of this additional income coming in on a weekly or monthly basis either. So it's just something nice to share. I'm kind of in that middle area where I am spending a lot of time on it, but I have a long way to go. So very interesting. Right, the next thing that I kind of wanted to take you guys through is, this is kind of a different view of what we're looking at. So we've just kind of spoken about, item costs, $207 or averaging around $649. Sales, you can see there as well on screen, and postage paid, fees. It just breaks it down a bit better. And this is just a separate view for you guys. But basically, we're profiting around $21.29 per item, which isn't bad. I mean, $20 is nice, right? But ideally, I would like that to be a bit higher. I think we would all like it to be higher, but this is just me speaking, frankly. So something to learn there and see how we can do that and continue to grow that. But yeah, all in all, I mean, that's not too bad when you think about it. Every item that I'm picking up, I'm basically getting $20 profit, kind of thing. So, or for every $6 that I'm spending, I'm getting $20, which is about right. In one of my recent videos, I shared with everyone that for every $3 I'm spending, I'm basically making $10 back.
Usually every $3 I spend, I'm basically making $10 or selling for $10.
Actually, I had said revenue, where this is actually demonstrating that potentially I'm actually making $10 profit. So this is actually not too bad, but it's we've got a long way to go. I want to improve it. So just something to think about. All right, so next what I want to share with you guys is my top 5 sold. And I loved doing this last time as well, but one thing I want to be very clear here is that my top 5 sold, this is sourced externally. Now, what I mean by that is in this month, 32 items are sold. There was a whole bunch of items which they're my own personal items that I sold, stuff that I basically did an Aussie flipper, and if you haven't checked out his channel, make sure you do, but he basically just did a little thrift around his own home. He went around, see what he could potentially get rid of, potentially sell, ask the rest of the family. And I did a bit of that when I cleaned my room and set up this whole area out here as well. And there's a whole bunch of DVDs and things. Now, I haven't included them in this top 5 sold because some of those were some pretty good sales. But I don't want them to include in here because it kind of, it makes the dollars not look as accurate as they are. And I want to show you guys that I'm going out and sourcing these items and then being able to flip them. So the first thing, number 1 that sold was some Zoid DVDs. I did talk about this on the Diary of a Flipper live stream as well, where basically these bad boys cost me $90. Yeah, I paid $90. I paid up for them because I knew the value, and I was able to sell them for $219. After fees, postage, all that jazz, I profited $87 on this one. So, and they were only up for about 3 or 4 days, I think it was. So that was a quick win. And I'm just going to address it straight here. There was a question on my recent video of my sourcing fodder where I had Rito. He basically asked, why am I trying to focus on, lowering my cost of these items when, why couldn't I go for something bigger and, maybe get a bigger result? Well, I am doing a bit of both, and this proves that, but I do answer that in another video coming up. But I want to be very clear that, I'm not just trying to keep my costs low in terms of when I'm sourcing items. If there's something and I know the value of it, I'm going to go all in because I know I'm going to make a profit, but it hasn't happened very often at this point. So at the moment I am having to keep my costs low as much as possible. So yeah, this was a nice one. I'm very, very happy with this, and I've actually been able to source a few more as well, so hopefully they'll sell soon. Number 2, this was something random, something cool actually, was Beavis and Butthead VHS tapes. Now these are vintage. I sourced all these basically for $12. They were $2 each, which is very expensive for VHS from op shops, but sourced them for $12 a total and was able to sell them for $57.90. Now I actually had them at higher. I accepted best offer because I'm thinking VHS's, this to that. I mean, this we're laughing. So after fees, after postage, came in with a profit of $35.90, which was great. Now, the only problem with VHS is you need to test them. I did test them, but it just takes a bit of time. So just something to consider if you're doing this for yourself. Item number 3. All right. So number 3 was some Yu-Gi-Oh! Tazos. Now, I had 46 of these. I paid $8 for them. I had flipped these before, previously back in the day, so I knew the value of them. Was able to sell them for $42 with a profit of $27 after fees and postage and whatnot. So they did sit around for a bit, and I had a few different offers. I actually had them at around, I think I had them for $49, and we kind of haggled between me and the guy, and yeah, I was happy with this anyway. It's not too bad at all. So yeah, that was a quick win. Next one, number 4, is Ironside Season 7 DVD sealed, I believe it was, if I remember correctly. It might not have been sealed actually. And this one picked up from an op shop, from Salvos I think it was, and surprisingly I paid $5 for this, and this is one that I had to learn on the fly and basically see what I could bring up from this, and looked up the comps on the spot. Knew it could go for about $59, and sorry, it was around $49.59 depending if it was sealed or not. I really can't remember, but anyway, sold it for $45, $46 actually, and nice profit there of $25 after fees and postage. So pretty happy with that. Once again, this is one single DVD, so those are the ones you want to be going for. Number 5 was a Harry Potter Half-Blood Prince, I think it is. This is a first edition DVD. It was a book. And this one cost me $1. I'm not even kidding. This one, I think this was actually on one of my short videos, my first shorts. I basically went into an op shop. I got 17 items for $20, I think it was, and yeah, worked out this one was around $1, and I sold this for $39.97 with a profit of $21. Now, I think this only sat for 2 or 3 days, so it was a quick one to move. Probably could have had it higher, but look, I'm happy with that. I'm not going to complain. So there you go. Next up is just a couple of cool items to call out, which I thought were pretty cool to sell. I mean, there's a lot of items, but if I had to break it down to 2, is Thomas the Tank Engine, some wooden and die-cast trains. But it's just interesting that, all of a sudden they've been sitting for a while and then someone just buys them outright. Just boom, pays full price. It's just random, right? I sold them for $36. I paid $5. But it's just cool, and I think that makes a good story as well. It's like, I wonder who's buying this, why are they buying it? Is it for a present? Is it because some collectors just randomly found it? Or, what's the story behind this? So that was very interesting. Number 2 was, which I thought was just a pretty cool pickup. I mean, if I was a collector of Narnia, the Chronicles of Narnia, this is a pretty unique item. This was basically the whole set in audio cassette tapes. So it was a nice little vintage kind of piece that you could put on a shelf or something, and I paid $8 for this and sold it for $35, but I thought it was just a cool item. And to be honest, if I never sold it, I probably would have kept it for myself, just because it is a bit of a childhood memory. But what will be interesting, and I'll be very honest, I haven't tested those, so let's see what happens. Lessons learned for this month. Look, there's been a lot. I think the big one has been post costs. And I need to actually sign up for a business account now. I've been sending more than 8 items a week, so it makes sense to get those savings. But where I'm struggling is how I can bring down that cost. Now, I know DVDs I can potentially do a bit better. I've been seeing and hearing what other people have been doing, so I'm going to really focus on that in the month of February and see if I can bring those DVD costs down, because DVDs are probably the most item that I'm sourcing, just because if they're sealed and they're $2, I may just pick them up. Now, if I can sell them for $15, that's a quick sale, but if postage is like $9, you're not really making anything. So I need to be able to get that postage cost down. So if you've got ideas, let me know, but I think I'm onto it, so I'll start to investigate that this month, but also working out, making sure that I'm factoring in the cost of postage within my margins and whatnot. Now, if I go through the comp process and if I go through and I see that 5 other people have things listed at $50, I've got to be careful that, I'm not going in and cutting myself, too deep, because if I go in and start selling at $40, I still got to pay postage on that. So just things to consider. Definitely something that I've learned this month, and it's in the results, right? You can see that I am bleeding dry when it comes to the costs. Process. I'm still kind of getting that process flow happening. I am trying to average around 5 listings a day. At the moment, I think it's 7, but we'll get to that later. I'm actually going to do that in another video and just talk about some of those things. But the process at the moment is, my first priority for January was getting basically how I wanted to be sorting, categorizing, and basically bucketing items, so that way when I list them, where are they, how can I quickly collect them, get them out the door once they're ready to post. And I've come up with a bit of a process, and if that's something you would like to hear a bit more on, please let me know, and I'll be happy to share it a bit. And I've shared it with some people, but essentially trying to keep the items that I source into one bucket, I list them from that bucket, and then when they're ready to sell, I can just pick them up from that bucket. So some of you might do something similar, but that's what it's as at a high level, and I'm still testing it out a bit. I've still got a huge backlog of what we call the death pile of items, which I need to really clean out and just get listed and get sold. So really need to buckle down on that. The other thing is items of focus. This month, I've really just kind of, stretched my wings and just gone all in with a lot of different stuff. I'm selling everything. I've sold cups, I've sold toys, I've sold bric-a-brac, I've sold DVDs, I've sold a whole bunch of different stuff. And I mean, at the end of the day, if it's going to make me profit, that's what I want to sell. But there is things that I enjoy doing easier. I enjoy because it is easier, but also I enjoy because I like it. Now, video games are usually a quick win for me because I don't have to do much research on them. Same for DVDs. Blu-rays as well, if I can pick them up sealed, I know they're going to be a quick win. But sometimes it's not, right? So still figuring out those things. I am enjoying trying to do bundles and whatnot. And I got some nice bundles, which actually they ended up selling in the start of February. So you probably won't see that till next month. But some Skylanders, some different books and things like that. And I think I did do one bundle this month, which was I picked up 3 different Guitar Hero Wii games across 3 different locations. Bundled them together. They were only really going for $7 each originally. Bundled them together for about $40, and I was able to get, made $20 on that. But, it was just a good item to do. And I think focusing on, whether it's big ticket items or lots of little items or whatnot, I'm still getting that focus and really, I guess, locking that down. But it's going to come. It's going to come. But I'm enjoying, just playing with a few different things. So that's really the lessons for this month. There's probably a lot more, and as I go through it, and I want to be getting into a bit more of the data in some of the other videos, but there's lots to learn here. First month in, and I'm sure I'm going to continue to build out this learning space over the next coming months. And one thing I want to be very, very honest with everyone is, like, I have sourcing videos where I'm going out and buying all this stuff and saying this is the potential, this is the potential. This is the reality of it. My costs are high at the moment. I'm still figuring out my processes. I'm still learning things. And, sometimes I'm working out how to make things get, how I can list things quicker or how can I sell stuff quicker. And because that cycle is important. I can have all this stuff and it's potentially going to make me money. But if it's not selling, if it's not turning over, then it's kind of pointless, right? So these are areas which I need to really, hone down into and just, learn as I go over the next coming months. But I'm excited for it. Super excited. I think it's going to be great. So let me know your thoughts on that. All right. So now if we compare to December, so in December, we were not doing it as experienced as we're doing it now. We weren't putting as much time in. Now I'm putting in a lot more time. So I was a bit shocked when I saw the amount of fees and whatnot, but I think this is the reality of it, right? We've our cost of goods are up, our fees are up, in a negative way, but what's exciting is the sales have increased almost by 3 times and profit is up by almost by 2 times. So these are some of the ratios and some of the data points I will be tracking from a high level, because then I can start to see where there's potentially some leakage and potentially some problems. And but these are all good things. You need to know your numbers to be able to grow and understanding, is it worth your time versus is it not, right? So on the next page, what you're going to see is, this is a running view since November, right? And you can have a look. You've kind of seen these numbers, right? Anything that's green basically mean it's a good trend. Anything that's blue, no real, highs or lows. It's just what it is. But if it's red, it's probably saying that, it's going up, and red going up is not a good thing. As you can see, fees and postage costs in January have gone up big time. Now, something just to be clear there is, in December and November, I was having the customer pay for the post. So that was wiping it out. So what's interesting, if you jump straight over to the far edge of PPI, so this is profit per item. In November, our profit per item was $53. Now, I only sold 5 items and I was doing very little and very specific. So it's a little different. And I had some beginner's luck. I had some items which didn't cost me anything and I was able to sell them. December, we basically got a bit more real, right? We were sourcing more, and you can see that my profit per item was around $25. Now, that's pretty good. Now, January, we've come down. Now we've we're doing double the amount of items. Now our profit per item's only come down around $4.50. So we're still up there. We're still doing pretty good, right? And if I think about it, that if I can go into a store and anything that I'm selling is going to get me $20 profit, well, that's not too bad when you think about it. If you can be averaging 5 sales a day, right? That's $100 profit. So it's an interesting way to look at it. Now, at the moment, I'm obviously not selling that much per day. At the moment, to be honest, I'm actually averaging around, I don't have it in front of me actually, but I'm going to flash it up on screen right now. Right, so in terms of what I'm actually averaging per day, I'm only really getting 1 or 2 sales, and I'm averaging around, well, I can't even remember what it is, but this is the amount. So it is still quite low. Where I would want it to be is obviously a lot higher, but it's still very early to be able to see that. Now, the other thing that's very clear here is I'm doing this strictly on eBay. I actually did have 1 sale on Facebook Marketplace this month, which I haven't included in any of these numbers just because it was an item that I sold personally. Like, it wasn't something I went out and sourced. So I didn't want to include that because it dilutes the numbers, but that's maybe an area I need to dive into a bit more, and whether it's some books, DVDs, bundles. I think when I start to do a bit more of the bulkier items, I've got some toys that I want to try and sell on Marketplace and see if I can get that out there, and that will avoid some of the costs in postage and fees, and that might be my quick win. So thinking about those areas as well. But look, I think these numbers tell a great story. Looking at profit per item, that $21, it'll be good to see it go up for February, but hey, this is all part of the journey. I'm excited to see what we can do. All right, so that is the what sold for January 2021. And there's a lot to think about, a lot to take away. And I hope this has been of value to you. And I hope you've learned something. I mean, I've enjoyed sharing it, and it's an interesting process, right? Because at the moment, I'm really loving the learning, the growth, the data points. I'm a numbers junkie, so I love seeing the numbers and being able to see what the story's telling me. And the more I spend into that data, the more I can get out of it. But I'm also enjoying, learning and, I guess some of the mistakes I'm making and some of the failures as well, as enabling me to come back and think of it from a different perspective. Seeing you guys in the reselling community as well, and what you guys are doing is really helping and enabling me to, do more and do further. But there's areas of improvement everywhere, and I think as we start to progress, you guys can keep me honest. I mean, that's why I'm doing this video, right? But I'm doing it also to keep myself honest. So lots of things I need to be doing, and if there's certain other areas that you'd love to see a bit more, please let me know. I have the intent to start to share a different type of video, which will be more on a broader level of just my month summaries of everything that I'm doing, whether it's around some of the goals I have, some of the priorities. It might be around my YouTube analytics, around some of the numbers games, and how I'm trying to tick off tasks and actions per day, whether it's, trying to get 10 items per day listed and whatnot. So some of that will come in a different video, but if you think that would be a valuable piece of information in this, do let me know and I can look to include it. But hey, this has been fun. I've really enjoyed it. I need to hear from you. What do you want to see? What do you want to know? And put a comment below. It would be greatly appreciated. And thanks for being here. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do the whole shebang, and hustle. Ciao.